Today, we talk about.
All right, let's do it. I'm gonna do this in one take, baby. 121. Nah. So this is long overdue, and I think I fell into the same trap again. I was waiting for like that quote perfect moment, which never happened, and I have a feeling it's not going to happen. So let's just do it. So first and foremost, thank you guys so much for multiple reasons. The most obvious being obviously the numbers, right? But I'm really starting to not give a shit about the numbers in this context. The last time we did this was the 3,011 subscribers. This being the 5,011 subscribers. Although we're a little late, we're at 5,811 now. But I digress. Actually, no, I think we surpassed that this morning too. Anyway, and yeah, for some reason the growth has been astronomical just in the past week or so because my Drake thumbnail for the Stone Island video started to blow the F up for some reason. Like just in the past like couple weeks, it's gained like literally tens of thousands of views, which is crazy to me, just like out of the blue. It was hovering, I don't look at my analytics, and it was hovering at around, I don't know, like 2,000 views and then 3,000 views for not too long. I was like, oh, this is great. It's doing pretty well. All right. But then suddenly it just like blew the frig up. It was like 5,000, 8,000, 9,000, 10,000. And I was, whoa. And it just like shot past the Off-White history video, which I put out like, it says 8 months ago. It feels like longer. And this one's only been out like about a month, and it's already like at, I don't know, 28, maybe 29 now. Kind of incredible. Didn't realize how many UK people would be mad at me for not fully understanding the casual culture, but whatever. It is what it is, you know. Can you blame me? I'm a freaking hermit. Ironically, because I'm like talking about fashion pieces that you wear out into the world, right? Although I'm hoping that changes once I get down to New York. And yeah, I have not been keeping you guys very updated very much recently, but that's because of like all this flux going on right now, and I'm still not fully prepared to talk to you guys about that yet, but I'm hoping by the 6,011 video, which won't be too long now, I will be fully delved into that aspect of my life. But anyway, I digress. So my point was, yeah, I started to grow very, not rapidly, but like a very big spike just recently. So this has been going on very, very quickly. Kind of got away from me from doing this 5,011 thank you video. But again, so it's not about the numbers, more so about the acknowledgement of you guys. And more specifically, the last time we did this at that 3,011 mark, I just remember the state of mind I was in and just being so down, man. I was just like, I could feel the burnout coming. Like I'd been feeling it for a while, but like I just had a feeling like I just need to keep going. Like I've had that belief in the material and my vision and my passion that I was like, you just gotta keep going, because what's the alternative? Like you're just gonna sit on this couch and watch YouTube anyway and be a nobody. So, you know, what's the alternative? Because I just kept questioning myself, like, man, did I really make the right decision to pursue this thing? It's just been so exhausting and draining, and I wasn't happy with my job, and there was just a lot going on. So, you know, like it just felt like I was at my wit's end. And then I just remember leading up to that video, so many ideas for the prior few months had been building up and building up and building up, and my log of ideas for videos kept piling on, and just that depression setting in from the initial excitement peak of having a great idea, and then the almost immediate fall from starting to realize more and more quickly, like, oh, great, another great idea that you just cannot accomplish by yourself in any kind of good time frame that's like functional. Oh, and no one's really going to watch it. Not, I don't want to phrase it that way, not that no one's going to watch it, but like the audience I would like to have seen it, for me to feel the kind of joy for the amount of work I was going to put into it, was just not there. for the amount of perfection I was trying to pursue. I mean, so that was just like so like down-putting. And then add everything else I had mentioned in that video about, you know, just like not even being able to at least just like casually at my own leisure talk about these things with the people closest to me in my real life and only with you guys online. That was really starting to eat away at me. So eventually I was just like, fuck it, man. I'm just going to put out this video. It was like, what, 40 minutes or something like that, just ranting. And I went back and rewatched it not too long ago, because I try to do that. I try to rewatch all my thank you videos leading up to the following thank you video, just to like kind of see where my progression has been and my growth. And that's been kind of part of this whole journey, is like a little bit selfish, not just for you guys, but for myself, just to like kind of watch my own growth in real time. And I remember basically, so I don't want to lose track because this story kind of has a few branches here, but the main branch is that video was kind of a turning point, because to bring it back to the main thank you that I'm trying to convey here, so many of you reached out in my, you know, so many of you slid into my DMs or responded in the comments or whatever. Some of you I had never even heard from before, some familiar faces, and man, that really helped a lot. Just hearing you guys say things like, hey, you know, I usually don't comment or like or subscribe or any of the above, but I just want to reach out and tell you, hey, man, love what you're doing. Keep it up. And that shit was just so powerful. And I only heard it from just a handful of you. It wasn't a ton of them. I mean, it wasn't like this avalanche of support, but just those few of you that reached out just to be like, hey, man, we don't know each other. We may never meet, but I just want to reach out and say, hey, you know, I see what you're doing. I appreciate it. I know what you're going through, but, you know, just keep it up. Keep your chin up. Man, that felt like such a load off my shoulders, and that really started to kind of push me in a different direction. So then I started to just kind of shed some of these layers of like perfection, and I just started realizing, like, I'm not even perfecting what I have. Why am I bothering? Like, I'm trying to perfect all these things, but at the end of the day, it's still not perfect, yet I'm okay with that, but I'm not okay with all the other things not being perfect. It was just like very counterproductive. So I was just like, fuck it. I'm just going to go to the iPhone, because it'd be nice to, like, with suboptimal lighting, not having to set up the studio, like all the mind processes of getting ready, you know, being freshly showered. I haven't showered yet this morning, and I don't give a fuck. I don't care, because I'm comfy. I'm sitting down. I'll shower when I'm done with this. I just want to get this out there. Whatever. I would like put on cologne before videos and shit. I was just like, what the fuck am I doing? Set up the studio, get everything perfect, set up, take some deep breaths, like get in the mental state to like record this perfect video. Just like so dumb. Like, what was that doing? And it would just hold me back so much, you know, making sure the cameras are all charged because they're all pieces of shit. But now it's just like, dude, majority of my work I'm just doing on this iPhone, and I don't care. Like, I'd rather get the information out than hold on to it and let it just burn inside me, like just causing all this anxiety and anger because it's not being shared with the world. And the idea is just keep building and building and building of things I want to talk about, because, you know, I was just trying to compete with Complex. I'm trying to compete with like major networks and like major productions with teams of thousands of people spending millions of, if not thousands of dollars on, and I'm just a one-man entire production crew, company, whatever, doing everything by himself while also maintaining a kind of an important job. So, like, why did I feel the need to like compete with that? You know what I mean? So eventually I was just like, yeah, fuck it. I'm just going to shed all this. People clearly are fucking with what I'm doing, even for a 40-minute video that people lasted through magically. You know, I can't get my friends to listen to me for fucking 30 seconds before being interrupted and moving on to another topic. So, you know, I've just been surrounding myself with people that just, you know, are great people, but for my interest is just not conducive to my own creative ambitions and passions and stuff. So that was definitely a big factor. So to hear from you guys, the select few of you that were like really very honest and encouraging, it was just like, it meant the world. So I really want to thank you guys so much for that. That was a really big turning point for me. So, oh, and also there was like a brief little block there where I just didn't upload content. I think it was only like a day, maybe two, but that was the one. I mean, after that little time period, I don't know what got into me, but I was about to go and get back into the routine of doing these daily consistent uploads, which I really got into a nice rhythm of. I was like, holy shit, I think I'm starting to get the hang of this and like figure out what YouTube is really about. I mean, not what it's really about, but like how to use YouTube to your advantage as far as how the current game is with YouTube and its algorithm, while at the same time not sacrificing too much artistic, creative expression, and doing the kind of content I want to do. So finding the perfect balance of compromise there. And as part of that, I did kind of slip up a little bit. And part of why I'm happy that happened is because for some reason, I just started to sit down and like rewatch my old content, which I'd never been able to do before. I was just always embarrassed of my own work. I just never found it good enough, and I was just like very unhappy with it. And that just like added on to the vicious cycle of already not being happy with how things were going and how things were progressing. For the amount of work I was putting in, I just didn't feel like I was getting back the amount of pride from it. Although I'm so thankful for those of you that have been following along for so long now. It's just been like, I don't think you guys realize just how much it means. But yeah, I say all that to say, you know, I just found myself suddenly just like rewatching my old stuff and not being disgusted by it or like cringing at it. Like obviously there's still plenty of cringe to it, but I started to kind of see what you guys were seeing, which is, you know, the less of the self-loathing that I've been doing, you know. So and then suddenly like that kind of helped too, just to kind of put things in perspective and be like, holy shit, you know, I could kind of see certain dots to connect now, to kind of like keep being myself and just like, just fuck it, like let's just do it. Because part of this journey has involved me not only letting go of the insecurities and the vulnerability, but also realizing, like, just intellectualizing it, like, yo, no one's watching you. No one gives a flying fuck about you. And the ones that do are not going to kill you for taking a risk or sounding dumb or cringy or Michael Scott as fuck or whatever. Just fucking do it. Like, the people you want to watch this the most, / the people you hope don't watch this the most, are the exact people that are never going to watch this shit. So why not? Just fucking go for it. So I'm glad I was able to finally input that into my brain in a way that I could execute it. And I ended up executing it, and that was great. And I haven't looked back since. So you guys have been very instrumental in helping me realize that. Then I started doing some of those car casual recording videos, and they really meshed with people. Very easy to edit together, very easy to record, and very easy to just post. So I was like, holy shit, this is kind of great. Then that kind of grew onto itself, and then eventually I got over the fact of like trying to not piss people off or be a little bit controversial. I mean, I'm not doing anything crazy, but like I'm over this whole free stuff, sponsorship bullshit. It's like, dude, I have a great paying job now, and I don't expect free product, especially shoes and Transformers toys and shit. I'll just fucking buy it myself. And the kind of stuff that I want is not the kind of stuff that they're sending for free. You know, the kind of stuff they're sending for free is trash. I don't want it. Most of the time. Sometimes it's actually kind of great, especially with the special packaging type stuff. That would be still great to receive and review and stuff. But like for the most part, if they do start sending me free stuff, I just want to give it away to you guys. I don't even, you know, I'll do a fair review, but then I'm just going to give it away. I don't need it because I wouldn't have bought it myself. But I digress. The point was, I was just like, you know what? I'm just going to be honest and offer this different voice, which I think a lot of you really enjoyed, because clearly by the views, it's been something that's been very helpful for me to grow even more lately. Add on to the fact that, you know, I finished my fellowship, I started my real job, you know, that vlog I loved making, and that was fairly simple to do, and, you know, that was a long one too, but a lot of people have been watching that one and relating to and finding inspiration and telling me how much of a positive inspiration I've been to help them pursue medicine and stuff, and just like so mind-blowing to hear that kind of stuff. And I would not have imagined being able to make that video before that thank you video and the comments I received from you guys. There's just no way it would have happened. Because in my head, I would have built this up to be like some magical production, and it really didn't have to be, and it shouldn't be. Like, YouTube shouldn't have to be that. Like, there's a reason Hollywood and multi-million-dollar, multi-hundred-million-dollar budget movies exist for that. You know, this doesn't have to be that. This can just be us, like me in a hotel room, dirty as fuck, hair just all kooky as hell, and we're just having a discussion, you know, just one-on-one. So that was that, and then add on, like, you know, had one person reach out and say, hey, you know, I'm depressed, but, you know, your videos bring me joy. And I was just like, that hit me in the feels, man. Like, man, to hear something like that, fuck, man. I never thought I would be in that kind of role. So that's been such a magical thing for me to experience. Add on to the fact that, you know, my job is great now, being an attending, let alone in a place like this where they were, you know, very desperate to have my services, and they're very vocal and appreciative of it, which is a total stark difference from my training experience. Not that I had a bad training experience, but like my role there and how my mind had been expanding in that role, plus all this stuff, I was in just like such a dark place there. And then now here I am here. This has been doing well, getting to know the community here, the physicians, the amount of respect and cordialness and hospitality, just whether it's within the town itself or in the hospital system, it's just been mind-blowing. You know, then I did get the Penthouse guys, so I was trying to make like a special announcement about it. I took some clips I was going to piece together about my initial experiences, but I haven't like put it together yet, and it's just been kind of like messing with my head. Maybe we can talk about that a little bit later. But everything's just coming together, man. I have my dream apartment, my dream penthouse. I live in a freaking penthouse now in Midtown Manhattan with the most amazing view. I can't wait to show you guys some more detailed stuff on that. I'll definitely be making dedicated videos about that. I have like a bunch of ideas cooking for that, actually. The other thing was my job now. I have a fantastic job that I really feel like I'm making an impact on people's lives. I had a patient earlier this week who gave me a hug. I've never had a patient give me a hug. She was just so appreciative for me to be taking care of her husband. And it's just like routine stuff that I do day in, day out. It's just like the amount of appreciation just really helps you put into perspective like how special it is for me to have this skill set now that's just like I can do in my sleep, you know, essentially. So that's been incredible. So yeah, everything's just kind of converging all at once. I've got this dream place to live in my favorite city of all time. I've got a dream job, and now the social media is taking off. Like my Instagram started to grow a little bit more consistently. That was such a nightmare too, man. Just like posting, and actually losing some followers every day, and like not seeing a lot of carryover between YouTube and Instagram. I don't know why they don't talk to each other. Like it just doesn't translate. Maybe I'm just doing it wrong because I'm not a social media expert or whatever, but lately it's just been organically growing. So, you know, I thought about bots and fucking spam shits and other bullshit techniques, but I'm so glad I didn't do it. I'm just like, you know, I'm just more happy that I have this organic base with you guys, and that just makes me more comfortable to make videos like this. Because if I had like a multi-million-dollar following, multi-million subscriber following, just because I manufactured it, because like I did the key things and looked at my analytics and like adjusted this just to like turn sheep into subscribers, like that's not what I want. I want people who actually fuck with me to fuck with me, and if it naturally gets there, that would be nice. But I'd rather have the 5,000 and change of you that truly fuck with me rather than 5 million of you who like are just casual in and out. Oh yeah, I've heard of that guy. Like, I don't know, who wants that? And I'm hoping to just keep growing on that and just keep doing better and getting better and keep you know, earning your guys' trust and respect and fandom to be able to keep creating for you guys and just be comfortable taking risks to do different stuff, because that's what this is all about. You know, this is all about me expressing myself and being comfortable and vulnerable enough to do that, because I just trust that when I'm looking at you, like, you will respect what I'm doing. And if you don't fuck with it, you don't fuck with it. You don't have to click on it, but at least you understand that, you know, that's just what I'm doing. So yeah, everything's kind of just coming together perfectly right now. Growth is consistent. I feel comfortable taking risks. I feel comfortable making the videos I want to make. I have fallen behind a little bit. This week has been a little crazy, just a lot more calls and everything else, but that's kind of good for my wallet, because that apartment is expensive. I got to get a bed. I got to figure out a U-Haul situation. I got to like get furniture. I got to get a TV set up, an entertainment system. I got so many things to do. Oh my God. And I've never done this before. So it's been kind of a whirlwind. So I've been kind of overwhelmed with that. I finally had to get all my like corporate account bullshit set up, the tax stuff set up, and working with my accountant. There's been like so many moving parts all at once. So it's a little overwhelming, but my personality is not one to get overwhelmed to the point where I break down. Like, I'll get overwhelmed, but it'll just lead to just maybe like, ugh. But it doesn't lead to like, you know, counterproductiveness for the most part. So I'll figure it out. I always do. But it is kind of annoying trying to deal with all this stuff alone, you know. Speaking of which, you know, started utilizing Instagram Live. Just got done with, you know, my first full one, quote, successful one. I tried it also yesterday. And, you know, I'll probably give some separate thoughts on it. Yeah, I think I'll make a different video on it. But anyway, yeah, so I just really want to say thank you guys. This has been incredible. I can't thank you guys enough. This has been mind-blowingly awesome. Just, I feel like I'm really connecting with people, you know? And it's just nice to hear that people can respect my goofiness in the context of doing a very important professional job that I'm just not comfortable talking to people at work about. Not that I think they would even give a shit. You know, everyone in the hospital system, for the most part, and for the most part, the people I deal with, whether it's administrators, fellow doctors, or even the nurses, for the most part, they're not like social media fanatics the way I am and the way the younger folks of you that are watching are. It's just not a thing, you know. Healthcare in general has always been behind tech-wise because they never have to adjust. It's like, what's the competition? You know, if you're dying, you go to the hospital and you just deal with what you got. It's kind of pathetic, actually. And then you throw in all these other factors like patient information safety, and that's, you know, you can't really expand tech-wise because of all the hurdles with that. But then again, it's like the banking industry dealing with people's money, and they've been very easily been capable of expanding in the tech realm and incorporating modern technology into the way we do modern banking and stuff. But I mean, maybe it's just like a whole different world that I don't understand. Who knows? But anyway, what else did I want to mention with this video? Oh, I know I still haven't clarified what I'm doing with this whole Iowa, New York situation, but trust me, there will be a dedicated video on that soon. I know I keep saying that, but I hope you guys trust me on that. Yeah. I don't want to drag this out like I did the other one, but again, I can't stress this enough. You guys have been incredible, especially again to the few of you that really reached out and personally, you know, said those kind words and supportive words. Like, I really needed that, and you know, it's led to me having better relationships with my family. You know, I've been able to use it as a springboard to, like, you know, be a little bit more open with my own family, which was always hard for me in the past because they're just not. They're also not in this world with me, you know, like they're still from the old world, so in a lot of ways. And finally, just to finally help them kind of come around to this idea, you know, my mom had gotten mad at me for all this social media stuff, and not mad, but, you know, like concerned, and finally I've gotten around to kind of addressing that with her and being a little bit more open, and that's been great. And then also just, I'm a little more comfortable at work, you know, cracking jokes or being a little bit more open, which is great. Random strangers, you know, I used to hate small talk. I still do to some extent, but I just feel a little bit more comfortable doing it because I feel like with the help of you guys and this platform, and that's part of another reason why I started this, was to gain this kind of confidence in knowing, like, hey, if you truly think you have something worthwhile to say, put it out for the internet, not just your local friends who happen to not give a shit. Like, I just happen to be shit on by a friend group that doesn't give a shit about the stuff I give a shit about. You know, that's not their fault and that's not my fault. That's just the situation I was put in. But thanks to this lovely technology in the modern era and this lovely thing we call YouTube and modern cell phones like this, I'm able to put what's in here out to the world, and whoever wants it and wants to fuck with it can fuck with it. And I decided, hey, if people really fuck with it, they will find this stuff. And if they really mess with it, that'll give me that closure to be like, you know what, you're not a piece of shit, you're not into dumb, stupid shit. There's other people that are interested in this stuff, and that will validate you. And you got to be very, again, I want to make a separate video about this, but I really find myself realizing more and more, especially as I watch other YouTubers, because I do a ton of YouTube watching, mostly for entertainment, but also just to study what others are doing, how I can incorporate other creative works into my own, influences into my own, inspirations into my own, and also watching what other people have done wrong and learning from their mistakes and their burnouts and their breakdowns and stuff like that. So, and one of the things I'm noticing is, like, it's very clear to me now that, you know, if you put all your eggs in this YouTube basket, especially the early folks who didn't even realize what it could have been, and that's not really their fault, but now they're in this world now where they allowed YouTube and social media to become their life. For no bad reason either. It's like, shit, man, if I was getting paid that much money and that much views and that much growth that early on, and let alone today, how much exponential growth you have, and now this is like literally what your life relies on, and then if there's any kind of downfalls or upsets in the system, or ad apocalypse this, or, you know, hate speech that, or, what do you call it, demonetization issues and burnout from fallouts with other people and blah, 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 blah. Like, that can really mess with you, because if you use this as your validation, as your sole source of validation, that could be kind of scary, because then you're relying on this to bring your personal happiness and validation. Now, I've used that to some extent, and it's been very helpful, because like I was saying, the ability to have small talk now, the ability to just like kind of just carry on simple conversations with people and feel confident to like just crack jokes and be personable, which has been phenomenal, especially in Iowa, because people are already friendly to begin with. So it's been a very amazing way of connecting with people here that I've never had the experience of having before. Usually I'm just that wallflower in the corner, but now just like having the confidence to like say my piece and feel like I have the confidence to crack a joke and be a little bit charming, that's been so incredible. It's such a great feeling just to like connect with human beings in the real world as well, let alone with you guys. So that's been just amazing. But yeah, I mean, I noticed that that's the fear with this. Like, if you just start to rely on this as your validation tool only, the minute it turns or is taken away from you, you could totally feel suicidal, because if that's where all your livelihood and self-worth comes from, that's a real danger. So you got to be really careful if this is the path you want to pursue, and if you put all your eggs in this basket, it's a really dangerous thing. You're really messing with fire. Now, some of you are that confident in yourself that you really say, fuck it, I know what I'm doing and I want to do it. Hey, by all means, don't let me stop you. But just some notes I've procured over time. And again, I wanted to make separate videos on each of these topics, but I at least want to like word vomit some of my thoughts so I can get it out. And we're at 23.5 minutes now, so still ahead of schedule from 40 minutes. So I think I'll cut it there. I really don't want to drag this out too much. Plus, I plan on expanding on this at 6011. So we'll do that. Otherwise, I'm going to just try and bust out a few more videos today just to keep things going here. Again, thank you guys so much. I remember even having to like do my hair all the time. Like, I would like wait to get haircuts so I could like record a bunch of videos back to back, because I hated the way my hair looked sometimes. And now I'm just like comfortable letting it just dangle lag, And actually, it's funny to me that people actually like this hair, so that kind of works out for me, because I can be a little bit more lazy with it. But I do need a haircut soon. Probably a little shave up too. Anyway, okay, we're going to cut it there. Sorry for dragging this out last time, but this has been a little bit long too, but it is what it is. See you on the next one. We out. Bye.